just want everybody to wake up.
I claim common law jurisdiction. That's a really powerful statement that I want to teach to a lot of people.
And just see and know and stop it. This world is just...
Stop this fucking bullshit.
It's just a fucking mess.
It is us that the government needs to listen to, and they need to stop listening to the bankers and the gangsters.
We the people are the ones who are going to have to fight.
Some people call it the artificial person, some people call it the debtor, some people call it the fiction, some people call it the straw man, some people call it de facto. They say you're responsible for that corporate entity. If you don't conform to their rules and their regulations, you did something wrong because you didn't comply to Admiralty Maritime Jurisdiction laws. So therefore, you're the slave, and you have to pay the tax bill on this particular contract that's issued to the capitalized name. You owe them. It's the debtor. The capitalized name is the debtor.
There are two kinds of law on the earth that rule the whole world, but most people don't know that.
Called in all countries the law of the land. So you say, well, you can't do that because it's the law of the land. The law of the land is civil law, Roman civil law, the law of the land. But there is a second law which also operates all over the earth identical. It's called UCC, Uniform Commercial Code. That is the law of God in the world of business.
You can define yourself differently as a natural free man or a natural free woman.
Individual sovereignty.
And you get to say in a contract, offer acceptance, you get to say, I accept, or I do not accept it.
Let us reorder this world around us.
Individual freedoms and the guarantees thereof.
No one would have the right to interfere with it.
Nobody can make you do things against your will.
No one would have the right to interfere with it.
And the only way you can do that really is through consent.
And you get to say in a contract, offer acceptance, you get to say, I accept, or I do not accept it.
The truth has to come out. You are a corporation-owned item.
Everyone in society.
You are a human resource.
The people who are trying to follow the free man path, they are in effect merely exercising political rights.
I claim common law jurisdiction.
But now it's people are said that, these people have to be put on a list that they're saying that there should be a right of secession, and they want to put them on a list that they're committing treason.
Terrorism. Motherfuckers to bring us forward on their agenda, and we are lost in the enchantment. They're using Hollywood. They're using every method that they have at their disposal.
I don't disrespect you and take your rights, so give me my fucking rights.
Until you understand the laws, the symbols, the emblems, what these words mean, you're never going to suspect how far gone we really are.
I want you to listen to me carefully. I want you to listen to me carefully. Do you understand the rule of law? You don't mess around. The most severe law in this world is called UCC, Uniform Commercial Code. It's the Bible of business on the earth. I will not be subjected to criminal abuse.
That's the law of the jungle.
There are two kinds of law on the earth.
That's the law of the jungle.
That rule the whole world.
You know, I'm starting to wonder.
Made us believe that capitalized artificial name is in fact us.
That is not me.
You are worth money to the international bank that bought you in 1930.
The reason why my birth certificate was so important is because that's when the theft took place by the bankers.
We need to wake up.
That man's mine. That is not me.
When it is not us, it is a corporate entity. It's a capitalized version that they need in order to work with. It's total deception. What they did with the name was They changed the uppercase, lowercase to capitalize on it. That capitalized version then became the slave.
I don't believe in enslaving people.
It became the collateral to pay for the interest to the bankers.
You can't trick me.
All money is loaned into existence. And by signing the application, you created the money that they provided you as credit. They didn't give you anything of theirs. They gave you something you created. So why are you paying them back?
Deception is the highest degree.
Legally qualified to trade in Ontario and Canada and hold no valid subsisting certificate of proficiency in your jurisdiction.
The government is being run by the Federal Reserve Bank, and they are getting all of our money.
If you're soliciting me in any way whatsoever, I hold no license to trade with you or exchange documents and instruments of value.
Boys, are you sure about this?
Right now, I'm not sure of anything.
All birth certificates in this country, on the bottom, it will tell you this is printed on security papers. Do not accept if not on full-color security paper.
Violation section 4938, Vehicle Code.
Acts and statutes which have the intent or the effect of affecting any previously existing right must do so clearly, specifically, and unequivocally.
But the law defines a motor vehicle, and this is undoubtedly a vehicle with a motor on it.
There is nothing in the Highway Traffic Act that meets that standard and removes the previously existing right to travel.
But the law clearly states you must have a license to operate a motor vehicle.
And therefore, it must still exist.
He said, let's take a ride, and I said, I'm not supposed to take a ride by myself. He said, you're not by yourself, I'm with you, so we took a ride. He didn't mean to break the law or nothing.
Misplaced power exists and will persist.
Hey, Johnny, come out. Give yourself up. You're surrounded.
Your entire life, you are a tax slave from birth until death.
Why? Because you are worth money to the international bank that bought you in 1930.
We are their chattel. We are their inventory. They make money off of us, and you don't even know how deep it goes.
Facto.
And the only way you can do that really is through consent.
So why is it?
They will do it anyway. They'll do it unlawfully and without your consent.
In fact, merely exercising political rights.
Individual sovereignty.
Radical ideology.
I do not consent and I wage a benefit.
They all understood that they were coming together, and if they're voluntarily coming together, they can voluntarily leave anytime they want.
Consent.
I do not consent and I do not consent and I wage a benefit. They said I do not consent, meaning I do not consent to you making any legal determinations against me. I do not consent to your jurisdictional claims against me, and I do not consent to contracting me. Quite final.
Combat their wicked scheme with simple truth.
And you should do that.
Clearly, specifically, and unequivocally.
The government decided to enslave us as collateral for the bankers with the birth certificate.
Which is the birth certificate, and it is a valuable token.
Every human coming out of their mother's water must be burnt.
The theft of the family name begins at birth and is carried throughout.
And therefore you have to have a certificate, a manifest to see how much this individual is going to make for us in our new world order.
As soon as you are born, the birth certificate is altered. What they did with the name was they changed the uppercase, lowercase to capitalize on it. That capitalized version then became the slave.
You are a corporation-owned item.
Became the collateral to pay for the interest to the bankers.
You are a human resource.
Break
Laws, we will extend the use of control orders.
These changes pose a threat to the survival of our republic.
Individual sovereignty.
It makes sense.
What is this talk about?
No idea what you're saying.
But what it really means is
Individual freedoms.
It means if there's something wrong, those who have the ability to take action have the responsibility to take action.
Now do your duty.
If you say that you are the slave and that you allow them to create that joinder between uppercase, lowercase name and the capitalized version, then what happens is, yeah, you become responsible and you do become the debtor. Wake up, wake up.
They all claim sovereignty, and sovereignty is an abstract concept which apparently defines their individual identity. The UN is based on that principle. To some extent, it's obviously fiction.
Yeah.
Individual sovereignty.
Start a new course of action. A new direction. Hey, that's against the law. You're coming with me.
Can't touch me.
Sovereignty.
Can't touch me. Just like the bad guy. I've got diplomatic immunity, so you can't sue.
Sovereignty.
Can't touch me. Can't touch me.
What you have to do, en masse, is stop cooperating with the system. Clearly, specifically, and unequivocally.
Except for you. You can touch me.
A world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations.
Are the ones who are having to fight.
We're going to have a one-world government, whether we like it or not, and it will either be by consent or by conquest. Consent.
The system is held together by our acquiescence. Enough!
Predators, we are life. We are the spirit and the soul walking on this earth. And it's time that we effected change.
Like the change we must change to the change we hold dear. I really like change and I made myself clear.
In a positive way for the future of our children. We have a right to live in our own homes. We have a right to be free and to talk as we want to talk. We have a right to free travel. The regulations, if you speed over the speeding limit, then you did something wrong because you didn't comply to Admiralty Maritime Jurisdiction laws. So therefore, you're the slave, and you have to pay the tax bill on this particular contract that's issued to the capitalized name. You owe them. It's the debtor. The capitalized name is the debtor.
Okay.
And then what happens?
If you polish a unicorn horn long enough, it gives you magical unicorn mayonnaise. That's what I use to make these sandwiches.
Pita time. I'm a big shot. There's no doubt. Light a fire and pee it out. Don't like it? Kiss my rump.
Idiots better wake up.
And you should do that. Again.